largest humans to ever live. Before we start, I would like you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. 1. Don Kohler, 8 feet 2 inches, 2 meter 49 centimeters. Denton, Montana born giant Don Kohler reached an incredible height of 8 feet 2 inches. His growth was normal until the age of 10, when he suddenly shot up at an alarming rate. He was the tallest man in the world from 1969 until his death in 1981. The inconveniences to Kohler's everyday life included him having to put out 2 double beds together when he stayed in his hotel rooms. A difficulty finding somewhere to live had a ceiling high enough and no hanging light fixtures, and bumping his head when he had a cold. Kohler's twin sister was only 5 feet 9 inches tall, making the 29-inch difference between the twins a Guinness World Record. 2. John Rogan. John Rogan, the second tallest person to ever live, was born in Tennessee between 1865 and 1868, exact year unknown. During his childhood, he was of normal stature. However, only until his 13th birthday, when he started to grow rapidly. However, his growth soon led to the development of severe ankylosis, stiffness of joints, leaving him to completely unable to stand or walk. He then used a goat cart to get around. By the year 1899, he had already reached a height of 8 feet 6 inches and became a local celebrity, often known as Negro Giant. Known for his friendly personality and exceptionally deep voice, he earned a living by selling portraits and postcards at local train stations. His hands were 11 inches, 28 centimeters long and feet 13 inches, that's 33 centimeters long. At the time he died in September 1905, he was measured at 8 feet 9 inches. However, he weighed only 175 pounds. That makes him the second tallest person in history and also the tallest African American ever recorded. 3. Vikas Uppal. He was 8 feet 3 inches, 2 meters 51 centimeter. Not a lot is known about this Indian giant Vikas Uppal's short life, and his tallest man claim is a controversial one. Born in Rohtak district of Haryana in 1986, he was never officially measured by Guinness World Records. According to Indian newspaper The Tribune, Uppal was 8 feet 3 inches and still growing when he was measured in his late teens. Indian news and entertainment website Rediff.com also claimed to have measured Uppal in 2005 and reported that he was 8 feet 10 inches, which would make him the second tallest person in human history. Other reports claim that he was 8 feet 9 inches, but his generally accepted height is 8 feet 3 inches. Notwithstanding such debate, tragically Uppal died on the operating table on June 30, 2007, when the doctors tried unsuccessfully to remove a tumor from his brain. 4. Zambik Khatakov. Known as Jambik, an 11-year-old boy from Russia, weighs 147 kgs at height 157.5 centimeters, setting the world record for the fattest child in the world. At birth, he weighed 2.89 kgs, which is a reasonable weight for a baby. However, by the time he reached a year old, he weighed 12.7 kgs, and at 3, he was lifting weights as heavy as 3 kgs. At 6, he was 71 kgs, and since then he has gained nearly 50 kgs on a diet of porridge and ice creams. His mother Nelia doesn't believe that his weight is a cause of concern. She said that Jambik is just growing, and that's how God created him. However, Jambik is an active child who practices wrestling 5 days a week and goes swimming often. He said that he wants to be a sportsman when he grows up, or even an Olympic champion. 5. Maximinus Thrax. Maximinus Thrax, Gaius Julius versus Maximinus Augustus, also known as Emperor Maximinus I, was an emperor of Rome in years 235 to 238. Born in Thrace, hence the name Thrax, he was the first emperor ever to enter Rome. Contemporary sources, most prominent being Historia Augusta, depicted Maximinus Thrax as a man of immense size, exhibiting large eyebrows, nose and jaws, symptom of acromegaly. His thumb was allegedly so large that he often wore a bracelet of his wife as a ring on it. According to historian Cordus, he was approximately 8 feet 6 inches, 2.5 meters tall, but exhibiting normal proportions, similar to Angus MacAskill. In his works, Cordus notes that Maximinus was so strong that he could pull off a fully loaded ox cart on his own. 6. Zheng Jinlian. Zheng Jinlian, 1964 to 1982, was the tallest female ever measured in medical history, surpassing the historical world record, 7 feet 11 inches, previously set by English woman Jane Bunford, 1895 to 1922. She is also the only woman who has reached verified height of 8 feet or more. She was born on June 26, 1964 in Yuan, China, 4 months after her birth. She started growing rapidly, and at age 4, she has already reached heights of more than 5 feet. Her growth patterns exhibited exceptional similarity to these of Robert Wadlow. On an average, she grew 5 inches every year, was able to lift a 110-pound, 50 kg stone at the age of 5, and slept in a specially made bed 8 feet long. 7. Sultan Qasim. At 8 feet 3 inches, Turkish part-time farm laborer Sultan Qasim is the tallest living man in the world. Like many of the other people in the list, Qasim's condition is caused by a tumor affecting its pituitary gland and has been linked to acromegaly. And as with Kohler, Qasim's growth rate was normal until the age of 10, at which point he quickly shot up to over 6 feet. The colossal Turk was unable to complete his education due to his staggering height and need to walk with crutches. An attempt to remove Qasim's tumor in 2008 was thought to have been successful, but in the end it failed to arrest his accelerated growth rate. 8. John Brewer Minock. John Brewer Minock lived from 1941 to 1893 and weighed probably more than 635 kgs. It took 13 people just to roll him over in bed, and he suffered from massive edema, the collection of fluid in the body's tissues. Edema is suffered by many obese people, and at Minock's peak, his body retained at least 408 kgs of fluid. He had spent better part of his life battling weight, having been heavy all his life. In 1963, he was 317 kgs. In 1966, he was 442 kgs. He was hospitalized at the age of 37 due to cardiac and respiratory failure and was discharged from the hospital after 16 months on a strict diet of 1200 calories per day. He passed away on September 10th weighing 362 kgs and leaving behind 2 children by his 50 kg wife, Janet. The couple had reportedly won a world record for the greatest disparity in weight between husband and wife. 9. Robert Wadlow. Robert Pershing Wadlow, often known as the Giant of Illinois, was the tallest man who ever lived, born to Eddie Johnson and Harold Wadlow in Alton, Illinois. On 22nd February 1918, he was the oldest of 5 children. Few months after his birth, he was diagnosed with gigantism, a rare genetic disorder that causes overproduction of growth hormone. During his childhood, he was growing rapidly, reaching height of more than 3 feet 6 inches, 106 centimeters, at the age of only 11, outgrowing both his parents at the age of 6 and reaching 200 centimeters at the age of 11. During elementary school, he had to sit in a special desk made for him because of his exceptional height and weight, 180 pounds. In 1936, after he graduated from Elton High School, he was 8 feet 4 inches, 2.55 meter tall. His size soon began to take its toll. Robert Wadlow needed special leg braces to be able to walk and lost feeling his feet. However, he never used a wheelchair. 10. John F. Carroll. At 8 feet 7.5 inches, 2 meters 63 centimeters, born in 1932 in Buffalo, New York, John Carroll was referred to as the Buffalo Giant in medical journals. When he was 16, Carroll's incredible growth spurt kicked in, and it didn't stop until his eventual death in 1969. At one point, he reportedly grew 7 inches in a matter of months. Carroll was afflicted with acromegalic gigantism and suffered a lot during his short life, especially when it came to his spine. He had a bad case of two-dimensional spinal curvature, also known as kyphoscoliosis. In fact, Carroll's spinal curvature was so severe that it even made measuring him accurately extremely difficult. In 1968, just before his death, Carroll measured in at 7 feet 8.5 inches. However, by this stage, his spinal curvature was so extreme that it's thought that his corrected height could have been just below 9 feet. That's all for today. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so that you never miss any amazing video from us.